The Tent Mouse and the RV Mouse by Loretta Sponsler and illustrated by Catherine Gutkovsky. Leaf by leaf, bloom by bloom, spring had pushed its way past winter. All the creatures who had huddled deep during the cold months were now eager to be out and to explore. Thomas Tent Mouse was busy getting ready for his first camping trip of the year. He gathered his gear, prepared his supplies, and studied his maps. "I should invite my cousin Harvey to join me," Thomas said. "We will have many adventures, and he will love camping in a tent." Thomas set off for Harvey's house. "Harvey, let's go camping together." "Sounds like a splendid plan, Thomas. My RV is ready to go." "I was hoping, Harvey, that you would join me camping in my tent. After all, in a tent, you are closer to nature, right in the action." "Would we be safe in a tent, Thomas? A snake could slither in, or an owl could swoop down and eat us. We would be someone's dinner, all wrapped to go." Thomas laughed. "Cousin, you worry too much. We will be fine. Besides, tents are the only way to camp." Harvey RV-Mouse did not agree that tents were the only way to camp, but he loved his cousin, so he agreed to the adventure. At first light, the cousins set out. They hiked many miles and saw many things. By dinner time, they reached their campsite. The cousins went straight to work setting up the tent. They gathered wood and built a fire. Thomas cooked dinner over the flames. They roasted marshmallows and told stories. Harvey looked around but saw no other tents, only trees and shadows. He inched closer to the fire, but worry had begun to grow inside him. As it grew dark, the cousins zipped up the tent and crawled into their sleeping bags. Harvey became nervous. He could hear all the night creatures. Something scratched and slithered nearby. An owl screeched overhead. He imagined all the things that could eat them during the night. To make matters worse, rocks jabbed his side as he lay down. Harvey buried his head in the pillow and dreamed of his strong RV where he felt safe. It was a long night. Harvey is worried because there are many animals that might want to eat a mouse while he's out camping. In the morning, the sun rose, and Harvey's spirits rose with it. The cousins were happy once more, and the day was filled with many amazing adventures. When the mice returned to their campsite, Harvey's heart sank. He felt that their fun day would be spoiled by another night in the tent. "It looks like a storm is coming," Thomas said. "We better go to bed." That night, the wind raged, and the tent raged with it. Lightning flashed and thunder boomed. Rain drenched the tent. Soon a leak sprang open right on Harvey's head. Drip, 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 all night long. Look at Harvey's face. What do you think he's feeling? In the morning, Harvey stormed. "It's time to go home. Next time we go camping, we are going in my RV." "Camping in an RV will feel like we never left home," Thomas protested. "How do we connect with nature when we're stuck inside?" Harvey laughed. "Cousin, once you try it, you will never use your tent again. RVs are the only way to camp." Thomas Tent Mouse did not agree that RVs were the only way to camp, but he loved his cousin, so he agreed to the adventure. In 2 weeks' time, the cousins set out on their next camping trip. They drove many miles and saw many things. By dinner time, they reached their campsite. The cousins went straight to work setting up the RV. They set out chairs and rugs, even tablecloths and lanterns. Harvey cooked his dinner in his oven and served it on fancy dishes. Thomas looked around, but he saw little nature, only row after row of other RVs. He heard motors humming and music coming from a distant radio. Thomas longed for his simple tent set in a secluded spot. As it grew dark, the cousins closed the door of the RV and crawled into their beds. Thomas became frustrated. They had traveled so far, but he felt that he was still in a house, not camping outdoors. He could not feel the wind, nor hear the night creatures, nor smell the blooming flowers. To make matters worse, a clock kept ticking and talking. Thomas buried his head in his pillow and dreamed of his own little tent where he felt connected to nature. It was a long night. In the morning, the sun rose, and Thomas's spirits rose with it. The cousins were happy once more, and the day was filled with new friends and many amazing adventures. When the mice returned to their campsite, Thomas's heart sank. He felt that their fun day would be spoiled by another night in the RV. "It looks like a storm is coming," Harvey said. "We better go to bed." That night the wind raged, lightning flashed, and thunder boomed. Thomas watched the storm from a window, but he felt nothing. No wind blew his whiskers, no rain touched his fur. Blip, blip, blip. The thunder barely whispered in his ears. In the morning, Thomas stormed. "It's time to go home. Next time we go camping, we are going in my tent." Harvey RV-Mouse looked at his cousin, Thomas Tent Mouse, and smiled. "Next time we go camping, I should stay in my RV." Thomas smiled back. "And I should stay in my tent." Together they said, "It's okay to like different things." The end.